Sweater weather, pumpkin spice lattes, fuzzy blankets, candles. If there is an official season for cozy, I think it might be fall time. It also happens to be my favorite season. I think the trees are so beautiful, the weather is just right, and of course it's also spooky season. With Halloween just a couple days away, I thought that it would be fun to theme our newest cozy gaming video around this time of year. Spooky games might not be the first thing that you think of when you think of cozy. However, I'm the type of person who loves cozying up to a horror film or even read a horror book around this time of year and actually find it to be really cozy. I don't know if it's just me, but hopefully some of you will relate and find this video helpful. I think that the games that I'll mention today is perfect for just that. It's like the right amount of spooky, creepy, eerie vibes, but you still want to keep going and find out what happens next. You know what I mean? I think the other games that I'll mention will start off very cozy and then slowly progressing to a mix of spooky goodness, in my opinion. By the way, hey, my name is Kat. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining and welcome to the channel. If you have time, feel free to check out my other videos, hang around, and consider subscribing. Without further ado, here are my top 10 Nintendo Switch picks for a fun little spooky gaming session. My first choice might be a little bit obvious for cozy gaming specific videos, but I feel that I do have a really good reason to mention it again for this time of year, and it is a favorite of many, which is Animal Crossing New Horizons. But there is a really good reason why I wanted to mention it for this video, because of the most recent Animal Crossing Direct that we got. We have a really exciting update coming very soon on November 11th. If you want to watch a recap of the Direct, I will link my video in the cards. Besides all the other exciting things coming, our favorite coffee-loving pigeon barista, Brewster, is finally making his way to our islands, and what could be more cozy than drinking a virtual cup of coffee with your favorite animal villager with beautiful falling leaves on our island, and of course all decked out with Halloween decorations, waiting for our friend Jack's arrival. Animal Crossing gives us the most wholesome spookiness in all of this video, so I think it's good to start off with this one. Keeping up with the coffee shop theme, Necro Barista Final Pour is like an anime-inspired visual novel that is set in Melbourne. Hey to all my Australian viewers. But this game is about a coffee house that serves both the living and the dead. It's run by necromancer baristas, hence the name of the game. You play as Maddie, and the souls that you serve are given their final 24 hours in this world where they can be among the living. It's so easy to become engrossed by the cast of characters that you meet and want to know more about the stories they tell. It touches on some topics like grief and other more serious notes, but the comedic writing that is sprinkled in keeps the dialogue and story overall light and fun. If you're a fan of visual novel type of games and you haven't played Necro Barista yet, what are you waiting for? I really think this will be a nice treat for you, so check it out. Now, it won't be a spooky themed Nintendo Switch video if I don't mention the popular plumber brother turned ghost buster, Luigi. Luigis Mansion 3 is so much fun, and it also contains the most adorable ghosts you'll ever meet. Luigi and friends find themselves invited to this big, fancy hotel resort, only to realize that this place is actually haunted. Luigi's friends, including his brother, you may have heard of him before, Mario, well, he goes missing with all of them, and so Luigi has to conquer his fears and capture all these ghosts so he may save them all. This game also offers multiplayer mode, and it's just so much fun. If you want to experience how Nintendo does spooky, this is the game for you. If I had to pick my favorite cozy but spooky game, Little Nightmares 1 and 2 easily takes the crown. This is a suspense adventure platformer where you play as two different characters in each game with two different stories, but the vibes in both are very much the same. Dark, eerie, grungy, filled with a lot of your childhood fears, but still oddly whimsical. Because of the art style and environments, I think that this game is so beautiful in a dark way. In each game, you're meant to unveil the secrets of the setting, and you have to hide from danger, sneak your way through all the little nightmares to ultimately find a way to escape. Oxenfree is described as a supernatural thriller about a group of friends who unknowingly open a ghostly rift. And I mean, if that doesn't immediately give spooky vibes, I don't know what will. Like Little Nightmares, I find the world of Oxenfree to be creepy but whimsical. Almost if Disney or Pixar were to make a ghost story video game. It's a side-scrolling adventure about Alex as she explores and uncovers the dark mysteries of Edward's Island. Oxenfree has a conversation system that alters the story and your relationships based on every decision. I love games like these because every player can have a different experience with the game, and also the replayability factor is very much there if you want to try and get a different ending every time. They actually just announced Oxenfree 2 coming in 2022, so I hope that we can enjoy that new adventure in time for next Halloween. Alba Kidoro, sorry for completely butchering that name, but I would describe it as a Dead by Daylight type of game, but in a more cutesy art style and a cutesy gameplay, if that makes sense. I think you guys get it. You play in rounds as either the monster, where you get to hunt down other players, or as the humans, where you get to run away from the monster or attempt to attack it. It got a pretty sizable free update this summer based on player feedback, which was pretty awesome. It added so much more gameplay elements like more characters, collecting stickers that can give your characters a boost in the rounds, and increasing the number of players to 2 ghosts versus 6 humans, so up to 8 people can play this at the same time from the previous 4 players only. You can play it online or offline, so this will be a fun one to play with friends or family. Corpse Party is like a JRPG/puzzle adventure game, and I've heard this regarded as a cult classic horror game. The first game in the series was developed in Japan back in the 90s. Little fun fact. I actually played this one on my PS Vita years ago. Never finished it, unfortunately, but I knew I wanted to play it again when it hit the Nintendo Switch just this month. I quite enjoy the story, and if you're a fan of the 16-bit era, you'll probably enjoy the look of it as well. It follows a group of friends who performs a ritual without realizing that ended up trapping them in an elementary school in some sort of alternate dark world. The school is filled with spirits of other young children filled with a vengeance, and they have to find a way to survive and escape before they too become one of these spirits and be trapped in that world forever. Do not be fooled by the seemingly childlike and harmless art style of Little Misfortune. I don't know if this game is meant to be spooky, but it is described to be sweet and dark at the same time. What I can tell you though is that it gets pretty dark, disturbing, and creepy with the story and the dialogue. This game is an interactive story about a young girl named Misfortune. She's led by this voice into her little dark adventure where you unravel mysteries, as seems to be the theme of a few games in this video. As you traverse through, you meet characters and her bad luck keeps unfolding. It's hard to describe this game completely, and is something that I think you have to play to really understand what I mean. Although I've played it and I still can't fully wrap my head around it. So Yomawari, the Long Night Collection. Again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering the game's name, but I haven't actually seen too many posts or videos about this game online, so this might be a little hidden gem. I don't know. I've really enjoyed it. Yomawari, the Long Night Collection brings you 2 different stories, with Yomawari Night Alone about a young girl who searches for her sister through their town. She suddenly realizes it's not the town she knows anymore, but one that is filled with darkness and nightmares. And Yomawari Midnight Shadows is about 2 friends who find themselves separated and lost after visiting a fireworks show atop of a mountain. They're both set in rural Japan and generally about their hometowns being enveloped in darkness. They have to hide from creatures of the night and find their way home. These games both do an amazing job with creating an atmosphere very fitting of these genuinely memorable stories. And it's great because these games really encourage you to explore and let you experience these environments. And I encourage you to check out this game if you're looking for a new spooky fave. Bendy and the Ink Machine, I think, was more popular around the time of its release, but Like Yomawari, I don't feel that I hear much about it, at least anymore. The art style is what first caught my eye about this game. It's that very 1920s classic cartoon. If you know of Cuphead, one of my all-time favorite games, by the way, that similar vibe, but then does its own thing completely and takes it to a spooky direction. You play as Henry in this first-person horror adventure who visits the demons of his past in an abandoned animation factory of all places, and you must solve riddles to try and eventually escape. There are a few good jump scares in this one, I must say, and there are other Bendy games following this as well if you want to experience more of this world and storytelling. The tagline for this game is, above all, fear the machine and survive, which I think really accurately depicts what you're about to experience in this game. And a little bonus sort of honorable mention, just because I haven't spent too much time playing it yet, Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater. This game should actually be out by the time that my video goes live on the channel. I had the opportunity to play this game early. Thank you so much to Koei Tecmo America, by the way. They didn't ask me to mention it, but this was low-key one of my most anticipated games of this year, just purely because of nostalgic reasons. This series has been around since the PlayStation 2 days, which was my first time learning about Fatal Frame. In the Switch game Maiden of Blackwater, the story revolves around 3 different protagonists who investigate the mysteries and disappearances that have happened on Mount Hikami. All you have in your aid is a flashlight and a camera, and this is probably the spookiest game in this list of games, but if you are looking for a new horror game experience with a compelling mystery, story, and unique gameplay, I really urge you to try this and get scared with me. And that, my friends, is all the games for this spooky / cozy gaming video. Probably lean toward the more spookier side of things, but which of these games have you tried out before, or what is your favorite spooky game recommendation? Comment it down below, and also like the video if you like the video, as it really does help out the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, have a beautiful day, and I will see you next time.